Thank you. Well, first of all, we want to thank you for joining the book club today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me. Yeah, and for reading the work. Thank you.
Yes. And I must say that this is very, very different from all of your other books, for sure.
You know what? I'm gonna put you on the spot. Name two of my books that are similar. Two of them.
Two of your books that are similar
Two
to
of them.
this one, I
Name
can.
two of them. Cause no, I'm not saying similar to this one. Name any two of my books that are
In
same.
general.
Any
No,
of them.
no, no,
Yeah,
none of them.
yeah, because people keep saying this is different. Every single book I've written is different. Every single book. Every single book. So every time people say that, I put them in the set. Name two, even the Flyy Girls trilogy, every single one of them is different. Every single one of them. Yeah, so I don't write the same books. I don't write the same place. I don't write the same nothing. So anybody that says that, oh, this is very different. Yeah, it's a different book.
As it should be, because you don't want to be reading the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, very different. Okay. All right, so go ahead. I'm ready.
I was going to ask, what was the inspiration behind this one?
I've been trying to break into Hollywood for the longest. I don't have Tyler Perry money. Most of us writers don't have capital. So he was very fortunate to have the stage play promoters behind him with capital. But the rest of us, Sister Soldier and a whole bunch of other writers, you know, when you creating great content, Black people don't want to put down the money to do it. They don't. They want to do a lot of cheap movies. And if it's not cheap, they still want to get the white man's money to pay for it. And they're not going to pay for Black books like that they don't know like that. You know, so that was the impetus. I couldn't control anything in Hollywood. They don't read your work. They change all the characters. They change all the content. They never want to put the money down. And then they want you to just give it up and then just let them do whatever they want with it. And then sit me back in front of you guys so you guys can ask me why they do this and why they do that. Ain't no way in the world I'm gonna sit in front of a whole bunch of people when I had no control over the movie whatsoever, and then y'all cast as me for whatever happened with the movie. So that lack of control, it pissed me off for years and years. That's why I stopped writing books for a while. I wanted, because you know, I'm a very masculine dude, football player, macho and all that. I can't get guys to read anything because they don't want to read. So I've been wanting to do films for the longest because I'm really a film person. But yeah, that lack of control in Hollywood really pissed me off. And so, you know what I mean? This book was like, you get to a certain age where you understand you don't control a lot in this world. And it just pisses you off because when you're successful, you get spoiled and you really want to have control. And people keep hitting me up like, do Flyy Girls. I don't have the money to do a movie, man. Like, I wish, you know, talk to Tyler Perry. When has Tyler Perry done anybody else's movies but his own? I'm not hating on him. It's his content, but he's not giving out money like, and then, well, you're Omar Tyree. Tyler Perry has all the stars talking to him about doing projects, not just Omar. So, you know, you can't just call up Tyler Perry. And I don't know him like that anyway. It's not like you know everybody. I don't know Oprah like that. I don't know Spike Lee. I don't know none of the filmmakers, you know. And when you step to them, you're starting from zero because they know a whole lot of other people that got screenplays and book ideas too. So what makes yours so special? And the but Flyy Girls is a good kid. They don't know that. They don't read. So they don't know that. They got to take your word for it. And so, yeah, that lack of control is just pissing me off. Now I'm coming back to writing books. I'm still trying to do film, but now I just finally understood that it may never happen because, you know, the folks that say they want to do it, they don't have the money. And then even if they had the money, they don't want to do it correctly. They don't want to do it in Philadelphia. They don't want to do it in the 80s. They don't want to have the right people. They don't want to use the music. That is just so many no's. That's like red flags. They want to shoot in Atlanta. If you've ever been to Philadelphia and Atlanta, there is no place in Atlanta that looks anything like Philadelphia. So what's going to happen? They're going to shoot small areas. Now, if you know the 80s, we didn't stay in small areas. We walked and traveled for miles in the 80s to find parties, anything. We don't stay on one block. Nobody did that in the 80s. We didn't stay in one block. So they're trying to go ahead and shoot the whole thing on one block. They don't even have playgrounds and schoolyards in Atlanta like we do in Philadelphia. It's just totally different. Now we can do it. We can do it in Baltimore. Baltimore is very similar to Philadelphia the way it looks. But why would you do it in Baltimore when Philadelphia? You know what I mean? Like, you know. So yeah, all them things pissed me off and made me write this book, Control. because you learn that you don't control as much as you thought you did. So when
Yeah.
you're young, you're optimistic, and you get older, and it's like, damn, I don't control that. So that's how you get old and grouchy. A whole lot of them, just letting y'all know before y'all get there, you get old and mad because you end up with all this stuff you can't. I can't control my man. I can't control my kids. I can't. It just drives you nuts. Yep. So that's why I wrote that book. We all got control issues.
I want to say I'm definitely guilty of saying that Flyy Girls should have been turned into a movie. I have said it hundreds of times, I'm sure.
Same.
Yeah, but again, even that, right? They want to shoot 90-minute movies. That's not no 90-minute movies. When have you ever seen a comic book be 90 minutes? They can't do it in 90. It's too much content. So they want these fast, easy, like you do. Go write your own stuff then. So it just doesn't work. You don't write a book. That's a big, thick book. So I got a screenplay that's like 2.5 hours. And then people start saying, oh, they don't have the attention span. You mean to tell me you're going to wait 30 years for Flyy Girl and not have a 2.5 hour attention span? Really? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, nah. But you're not going to feel it the way it rolls, But yeah, that's what made me write this book, Control. It's very pivotal in my life and career right now.
Okay. I'm gonna let one of the ladies ask you a question. Daria, Lindsay, Shaniqua, Ashley, Ken, do you guys want to start with the question for him? Something that stuck out to you guys the most?
Did everybody read the book?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we read the book.
Yeah. All right. Daria have because I was gonna ask y'all who y'all favorite characters were, but Daria has a question, so I'm gonna go ahead and let her ask hers.
Okay. I was gonna ask you, what did you, after you wrote it and read it, what did you take away from it? So I know we all took away different things, and I know why you wrote it, but what did you truly take away from it?
There's a lot of things. It depends on what you read. I don't know what your experiences are. You got a lot of characters with a lot of stuff going on in there.
Right.
And all that stuff is true. Like you guys have no idea. Like you don't really make fiction. You're writing stuff that's real. You just got names that are different. Like the dude that had the young ladies, that happens all the time, man. You know what I mean? Girls trying to do anything. When John Singleton was out there in Hollywood, I interviewed him, and he said after he came out with Boys in the Hood, he said every girl out in LA was like, what do I have to do to be in a movie? So they go crazy, man. It's like, so all that stuff in there, hedge fund guys that, you never qualify for their money. All that stuff is real. All of it. Every single women that don't want to, use their bodies as control over a man. All that stuff is real. It's really real. Sacrificing people to get successful, Illuminati, blood sack, all this stuff. Y'all been talking about that stuff for crazy. Like, I mean, we knew about the Illuminati and all that stuff in my day in the 80s and 90s, but we wasn't talking about no blood sacrifices. We didn't go that far with it,
Right.
But now your generation has so many new black millionaires and billionaires that y'all like, she sacrificed this person. We wasn't talking that stuff in the 80s and 90s. But everybody always knew about the Illuminati and the superpowers and whatnot. But we wasn't, talking about no blood sacrifices because we didn't have that many millionaires that y'all had. Now athletes, if you look at black quarterbacks, black basketball players, dude, they starting to get 300-400 million for 5 or 6 years now. Crazy money, So we didn't have that kind of money in the 80s and 90s. Y'all on another level of money.
Yep. Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
Okay, so favorite character for me, I guess I'll say Miss Melody. I like the way she started off. I hate the way her story ended, don't get me wrong, but I kind of was feeling her in so many different ways because I know a lot of women think like that, and I can understand where that mindset develops from because everybody is using somebody in some type of way.
Yeah, I started off with her because of the Flyy Girl thing. You know what I mean? So I wanted to start off with the youngest character and the one that's going to be the closest to Flyy Girl. But the difference is that she can make her own money now. Now Flyy Girl grew up. If y'all read the sequels and stuff, she grew up and made her own money too. But yeah, originally she was just a teenager. This girl 23, but that's where we're streaming now and people having control over their own. What's the girl, Ice Spice? They had this article I read where Ice Spice did a song with what's that? What's her name out there in New Orleans? What's her daggone name from Queens, New York? What's her name? She's been out there by herself. She been rapping by herself for years before the other girl started. What's her name? Minaj.
Oh, Nicki Minaj. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Minaj. So they did a song together, and I read the article. Ice Spice controls her publishing because of the streaming stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But Nicki Minaj was signed under, Cash Money Millionaires, which is the old school. So she's giving up a whole lot of her publishing. So when they did that song together, the Barbie song, Ice Spice ended up with more money off the song than Cardi B, even though, not Cardi B, than Nicki, even though Nicki Minaj is the veteran rapper with the name and the brand. And so when I was reading that, like, yeah, everybody's envious of the money that you guys are making compared to what, our generation made off the same stuff. Now they're making crazy money. So yeah, that Nick, what's her name? Mrs. Melody. And, I had one person that read the book that said, oh, the people don't act like that. They don't talk like that. I said, are you out of your mind? Have you really been paying attention? Like, are you crazy? They don't really talk like that. But I said, look, she's with a psychologist where she can let her hair down and be herself. She ain't going to be looking, to cover up her words. And she's not on radio. This is a private talk. So
it's people that really act like that. It's people that live by those mottos. I know several women that live by those mottos.
Yeah. So I get a lot of people that, they want to argue. And I'm like, look, I didn't even argue about it. I'm like, look, it's out of my control. I don't control any of these people. I just know how they are. And a lot of these rap girls now, they don't want nobody in their way now. I don't want nobody telling me nothing. And that's what it is. So I'm looking at marriages and I'm looking at, I don't know if y'all gonna turn men into chumps or wimps. Like, yes, dear, yes, son. I don't know how that's gonna work. If women want to, I'm like, if dominant women, are you gonna get pacifist men? So I gotta see how that works. Yeah, because I'm coming from that generation where guys were guys. You know what I mean? So this new generation, I'm like, yo, dude. We didn't ask a whole lot of questions about what the girl wants to. You going to the movies with me? You going here with me? You going to do this with me? We want to. Do you want to go to the movies today? I don't know how to do that, dude. Like, we grew up like, yeah, you say what you go. If you say you want to do something different, all right, I'll do that. But you got to say you want to do something. I don't know how to sit down and what do you want to do? What girls didn't play that when we was coming up. If you didn't know what you wanted to do, you was weak. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta say, so that new thing of catering to a woman, that's brand new. You go back to them dudes and Flyy Girl, and that's how everybody was like, you gotta have your game, you got all that stuff. And I played football with them kind of dudes, so I know. Yeah, I know all them dudes, you know what I mean? But this new generation, I gotta see how this is gonna work. Because now the young rapper dudes, they talk crazy as hell right now. Like, I'm like, they talk like they hate women. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then,
they do.
But the women talk the same way. Like, they don't want anything from a man but financial gain.
Like, they hate each other. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, nobody wants to be looked at as weak.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, do you ladies have any other favorite character besides Mrs. Melody?
Oh, that's you. That was yours. We got, what, 6 people here? Which one? Okay, we go. All right.
I would say my favorite character was Destiny Flowers because she's the one that had me like, this is in her head because she was popping up at all the crazy times. So that was my favorite character. That was my most entertaining.
So you knew something was wrong with her early on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the character that was making me think like, what? So
I will say me and the other girl that dropped kind of clocked it by like after all the reflections had completed like the first round of reflections, and then I was like, I think this is in her head. Like, it's either in the therapist's head or it's in that Destiny Flowers person head.
Yeah.
I had clocked it on Victoria. That was the one thing that took me out of like when Destiny like started eating her up. But yeah, I was like, I clocked it kind of then, but it's because I think I'm just used to that, like in regards to a psychological thriller. I'm like, oh, let me pick up what, like what's really going on here.
Yeah.
And so yeah. I would have to say I kind of agree with Justice. My favorite is Miss Melody. That's just because she just popping it. She owning it and she popping it. And she just really writing her, in her mind, she's really writing her own path. And I love that. I love that for her.
I
Yeah.
like that word.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I look at somebody like Glorilla. I like Glorilla, by the way.
I love Gorilla.
She reminds me of Cardi B with her opener. She just talks and talks and talks and talks and talk. That girl just goes, man. Like, do you have no problem getting an interview? So I want to do her book. You know, like, because Glorilla going to talk about everything in that.
Yeah.
So
And she probably have a really interesting story just by the fact that she's like one of, I think, like 6 kids. She's not the oldest, not the youngest. Like, so I could just imagine
beds, like all of that.
Yeah,
for sure. So Lindsay, I think you was about to say who your favorite character was.
Yeah, I think I would say Miss Melody also, but I would say because she reminds me of, and I think I told the ladies this before, she reminds me of girls that I taught. Like I used to be an English teacher, and so she reminds me of girls that, where you're so happy that they have this confidence, right? Like they know what they want, they know who they are, but you're like, but the way you're moving makes me scared for you. So I think that is why I would say Miss Melody.
Okay, what about you, Shaniqua?
So I do like Miss Melody, but I also like Dark and Moody. I felt like, she didn't really care what people say. She was like more like she liked doing her own different thing, because she don't like to be like, she likes to be different, and I like to be different. I don't like to like follow the crowd, I like to do what I like. So I would say Dark and Moody would be mine.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody like the guys, huh? Nobody like the guys.
I will say, I was going to add on to this part. I will say that Joseph Drake's story to me was interesting. Do I say that I like him? No. But his story to me was the most that I was like, every time we got to his reflection, I was just like, okay, what is he talking about now? Because what else? Where are we going with this? That was what I just kept asking myself. Like, what is his point besides this white guilt situation? What is your point here, sir? And so that was my one interesting, like, where are we going with this? How does this fit with the rest of everybody else?
How does any white Americans fit with us? How do you think?
Well, it's hard. I think it's harder for me because my dad is white. And I'm just like, I understand like having that feeling, but the fetishizing of a Black woman, I wasn't getting jiggy with that. I was just like, so you feel bad because your great granddaddy had slaves, which I get that part. But to then say that is a catalyst to make you want to date Black women, but to also not hold them up on the, like on an equal or playing field as a white woman is just, that had me like.
It was just the fact that he fathered 2 kids by 2 Black women.
Yeah.
And the way that
did he talk about white women?
No. But it was
so you're assuming that he don't even talk about white women. He maybe not even attractive.
He had this conversation with his sister. Yeah. It was just like he knew it was that sense of like guilt that he had about liking Black women, and the fact that he hid his children, he hid the fact that he had ever had these relations with Black women. Like, to me, that's where I gathered that feeling from. You're right, I am assuming, but that's where I gathered the feeling from.
Yeah. So. Well, when we talking about one person in the world, one person, because I had a person that was really a psychologist, and she was saying, "Oh, Omar, this is all off. This is not how we do it." And I had a good time with her because I was like, you know what? This book is out of my control. I let the book write itself. How are you going to tell me that another person's not that crazy? Like, how are you going to tell me that? Like, if you got 6 million people in the world, and then she tried to tell me, the psychologist I had to talk with, she said that women don't look at other women's bodies. Now, it's six of y'all. It's 6 of y'all. And so I said, what about lesbians? They don't look at each other's bodies. Oh, no, they got. I said, you telling me that if there's 3 billion women on the world, no women look at each other about it. She got nice behind. She got nice. I said, get out of here. Ain't no way in the world. But that woman was telling me that women don't look at each other like. I said, maybe most of y'all don't, but you gonna tell me that no woman in the world looks at other women? Because we damn sure look at dudes like, damn, he's big, he's buff. Oh, damn, he got big. We damn sure that because it's an observation. So to tell me that you can't look at another girl and say she's cute, she got a nice breast, I like her outfit. Like I was like, what? Like women don't do that at all? And the psychologist like, no, you keep explaining things like that. Sounds like a man explaining it. I said, wait a minute. So an older woman sees a younger woman come in her office. She's not gonna say, oh, she looks like this. An older woman can't say that because you're women. That blew my mind. Like, because I'm so restricted with everything. I've been a writer my whole life. So I'll say, yeah, dark-skinned dude came in, pretty boy face. Like, for instance, what's the boy name? That going ASAP Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
ASAP Rocky is a gorgeous black dude, and I'm not gay. That dude, his skin is smoother than it. His whole face, that ain't ASAP Rocky is perfection.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I could grab that dude and put him in the movie as Victor, of course we got to cut his hair right the way we rocked it. But that dude, ASAP Rocky but you'll have dudes, black dudes talking about, now I don't judge men out. Come on, man, stop it, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, guys that got the look. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know,
Yeah.
but to hear women, oh, I can't judge another woman. I'm like, you got to be out your mind. As much as y'all take pictures and stuff all over Instagram and Twitter and y'all don't judge other women. Like, ain't no way in the world. But I went through all that, but I backed up. Like, all right, I let it slide. Like, all right, women don't judge women. Y'all don't look at each other. I'm going to believe that. No, not one woman in the world. No way in the world. But all y'all agree with that. Y'all don't look at other women. I'm not saying that you're gay, but looking at, oh, she's cute. Oh, I like her hair. Oh, y'all don't do that. I want to
think
hear
that's
it,
just
'cause
a natural.
that sounds unbelievable to me. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I think that's just a natural thing for anybody, male or woman. I mean, it's like you get style, you get fashion, you know, like just different attributes about yourself from other people. I think just along the way. So if I see a nice woman with some nice hair, I'm like, oh, her hair is nice. Maybe I'll try that one day. Or she has a nice body. Maybe I should go to the gym a little more, or whatever it is. So I think we get inspired by.
But this woman told me that it was too descriptive. You know, when Dr. Benning was basically the first one, when Dr. Benning is breaking down Mrs. Melody. But if you got a girl that you know is using her, you know, her extraness, you know that for a fact. You gonna sit there as a woman and tell me that you don't know that? Like, I'm like, come on, man, stop it. Like, I've been writing books forever. You can't lie to me like that. Like, stop it. You don't know this girl. Every time this girl walks in your class, all the guys neck, and you don't know that. You don't know that as a woman. Come on, man. Like, so she was going off on me. Like, this is a male describing women. I said, I was chilling. Like, you gonna tell me no woman in the world can describe another woman? I say, ain't no way in the world.
Okay, so